Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong. From the middle of the graveyard to the center of the sea, our ancestors, are you and me, we are the great ones. From the beginning of time, we have the heart, the soul, the body, and the mind. Calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong. United we stand, divided we fall. All for one and one for all. Some never know themselves until them back against the wall. Jamaica, Haiti, Nyan-Ko-Pong a call, calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong, Nyan-Ko-Pong, Nyan-Ko-Pong. Praises to the great ones, praises of our nation. Yeah, oh yes, I say, united we stand, divided we fall. All for one and one for all. Some will never know themselves until they're back against the wall. Nigeria and Nigeria, the ancients wanna call, calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, 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 Nyan-Ko-Pong calling, calling, calling. Nyan-Ko-Pong, aya, 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 aya. Hoya, 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 ho. Aya, 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 aya. Hoya, 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 hoya. Living demons calling, calling, calling. Calling, calling, calling. The Boba warrior calling. Ancient warriors calling. Asia is calling. Ancestral powers calling. China is calling.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on board tonight. I hope that you are fine, doing just right. Um, we have Akeem, Crystal, and Danny. We're waiting on just a couple more of our brothers and sisters to join us. Tonight, we have a nice program tonight in the class. We're dealing with banking, and I don't think a lot of us really see how serious the banking is. Last night it was private and public, and I realized that you didn't leave class. He was on the compound quite late last, you know, and I think that is what happened when Professor Strength really comes on. He really brings a lot of knowledge, and that is why we have him on board here to give us some insights. All right, I'll just wait a little longer while I get this together. As you know, tonight we're supposed to have the Sheik on, and I spoke with him and everything. Said that Raskadites he will make himself available, and I'm hoping that he comes through. As you know, that we always plan for Plan B, because if one of the tutor don't come, we have enough self-reliance where we can rely on ourselves. And I've always tried to think ahead, because I know that a lot of our brothers and sisters they multitask and they will have other things to doing. I want to say big up to Danny from the UK. Danny, tomorrow I will call you and we'll straighten out that thing there with the PayPal. I don't think it's a problem. It's quite easy, but we'll get that done. Go and enjoy yourself. Mr. Jackson, thank you so much again, Brother Jackson, for coming on board. And I hope that we are learning as we're going. Before I go any further, is there anything that anyone have any concern about that you want to say before we kick off?
Yeah. Grand rising, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Um, the stamps. How we use the stamps? How do I get to use the stamps? Because I know it's in the classroom, but I want to know how do I actually use them? Print them off. If I print them off, that's just regular paper. I can't stick that on to
You
an
have to
envelope.
order, you have to order the stamps from the postal service. If you go online, U.S. Postal Service (UPS), you will see the necessary. I think Nana, she is very much working that process. I am going to play something from Charles tonight pertaining to the postal system, and we can learn from that. So I think that's an easy fix. It's not a hard fix for us right there. Crystal, did you access your online thing so you can get a re-scoop? You can do it anytime. You just let me know and I'll give you access.
The I don't understand.
There's a link inside the classroom for the YouTube. You were asking last night about
Oh,
getting.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we have Sister Abina come back in tonight. I know that a lot of people are multitasking, so we control artificial intelligence. So we do not panic. We just think it through and we arrange as we go along. All right. I don't want no one to stress themselves saying they miss out on anything. You don't miss anything. The timing may not coincide with your timing, but you can always go light speed or warp speed. That's how we operate. We don't panic, we fix things. Brother Taylor, welcome. Grand Rising. Grand Rising, Brother Taylor.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Peace and love to
Uh,
one.
yeah. Okay. All right. If there's not any more question, I know that as Brother Taylor come in, he was asking about the link with the Moorish Empire. We're supposed to have Brother LB on. He did said he would reach back out to me so we can deal with it. But either way, the concern that you share, it is not outside of our grasp. So we can make the necessary links, whether in the classroom or outside of the classroom. So if push come to shove, Brother Taylor and I have to furnish the connection with Sheik page, it can be arranged. And you ask him any other questions that you have in your cranium where you want to get answered. All right.
It's a blessing.
Uh, this is how we operate. Now that we make the links, we do not feel as if we don't have it. We know we have it, so we share it. All right. Well, let's see if we can get into the argument for tonight, no, and see if we can make some move. Anybody? Banking is something that all of us we are familiar with it, but we don't know the scope of it. I don't think we know the scope of it. Banking is a fraudulent entity, but it's legal under the corporation. Now, everybody know that legal and lawful is two different things, right? Yeah, legal and lawful is two different things. Not because it's legal mean that it's lawful. So tonight we will be trying to brush up on some of the unknown when it comes on to banking. I will start with this tape that I'm going to play with Charles. Now, Charles, he is a sovereign, and he tried to break it down to us in the fullness as to what banking is. But this that I'm going to play first and foremost is the brought forward from last night about public and private, because I want us to work simultaneously in the class. So whatever we're doing, it matches up. Everything that we're teaching right now, it matches up with your documents and how you present your document, which is the representation of your estate. All right. So I have two excerpts to play before I go into it. All right, then. This is the first one about private and public. I wanted to play it from last night, but last night was very hot.
The deception of our indoctrinated upbringing on public versus private. Let's talk about it. All right, public versus private. So remember that the public is bankrupt, crazy, and very uneducated. And this is all by design by the controllers of our school system, our media, our entertainment, and medical industry, which is all created to enrich corporate interests fueled by greed. If you don't believe me, take a look at this Princeton study, which comprises 20 years of data on public interest. And it shows that it doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what an individual cares about or even votes for. It's all about corporate interest. Just like the late, great George Carlin said,
Healthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. Politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
we're all brought up in a system that basically promotes duality in the public, and everything is in trust. And 99% of the people can't handle anything beyond duality. Money is in trust. If you look at this right here, we'll call this 50 Shades of Fiat. If you look, it'll say this note is legal tender, not lawful, for all debts, public and private. That's the duality. But if you look a little deeper, you'll figure out the high spiritual equity where God, we trust. Everything's in trust. In the banking industry, they show us the creditor debtor in the public, but if you look, everything is in trust in the private. Even court system, they show you the plaintiff defendant, but the neutral third party administrator is the judge, but he's the equity gatekeeper. Now, a judge as a gatekeeper, you have to remember our servants have sworn an oath to uphold that public, crazy, bankrupt system, which keeps 99.9% of the asleep sheep in check. These are the judges, the attorneys, police officers, sheriffs, etc. And if you don't know how the game is played, you can't speak about certain things in the public. The public can't handle assets, and you will upset the judge. I get approached all the time by people that try to handle saying I'm sovereign or try to do set offs or settlements when there's people around. You can't do that stuff. The public can't handle it.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The private side of equity is where all of the real true assets are handled. For instance, if you look at me and you see my public flesh frame by your natural eyes, but the true assets are held in here. This is equity, it's spiritual, it's resonance, frequency, and energy, and stuff like that. In the international commercial realm in America, the US would be considered public. That is the fiat fictional federal type of system that has been overlaid over the land. It's not a real true jurisdiction, or it's just kind of a fake. That's what the public can handle, which is craziness. But the true private assets, when you start dealing with that, that's the sky is the limit. This is where status and standing come into play. Each sovereign state is operating in the background in the private, and you can hail that jurisdiction if you want to in the republic, or you can create your own parcel of land and hail jurisdiction to that and start enforcing your status. Take some time, look beyond the natural light, the duality of division that we've all been brought up and taught by the controllers of the systems that are in play, and look deeper into the spiritual equity side where all the assets are. Everything's in trust. That is the best advice I can give.
Yeah, your equity is in your brain. That is your spirituality. Remember, I was teaching you the other night about the three dimension. Yeah, spirituality, earth, and water. Because this is
One
how
tree
we,
two.
yes, this is how we exist. But in the corporation mind, they put it 3, 2, 1. But it's 1, 3, 2. It is spirit, body, and then the water. But we're not gonna go in that. That is for our spirituality. But everything is connected as we speak. Everything is connected as we speak. Now we're talking about the banking, and we're going to get into the secret of banking. Um, where is my next excerpt that we can get forward? Going to line out 21 um, reasons behind the banking system that we can look into. All right, I have a another one to play, but before I play that, I want to get into the 21 reasons. Okay, hold on. All right, my first step towards this is the 21 top reason. Now I am reading from one of our sovereign top 12 banking secret that they don't want you to know. All right. The first one is she says that she's telling you this because it's important to tell you about how your banking system relates to your estate. Your estate is your social security number that is there from day one, like your birth paper number. That is how they create money. This is how they create equity. And then you become a debitor to them. You owe them on your own estate. So these are some of the secrets. It says bank sucks. Never work for a bank and never join a bank as a customer. What you need to do is choose a credit union and become a credit union member instead. Some of the biggest, most well-known banks in the world are nothing more than frauds. Banks have stockholders, and as such, they have one mission in life: to make the stockholder richer. And I understand what now? All of the banks where you're going to, these are owned by companies, and the companies have a plan. Them say we want to make $1 million, so we're going out there to commit fraud. You do all the work, they get all the pay. Some more friendlier banks offer incentive to employees in the form of bonus, that is to encourage you to go out there and commit more fraud. And it kills me to say this: incentive with jobs as one employee. If you don't sell a certain amount, you don't work at the bank. I have seen 3-year-old employee let go because they slip up on 1 month and came 20% less than their quota. Banks don't care. Why should they? They can hire someone else to fill that spot in a matter of days. But at a credit union, its employees based, much like the Winco, you get shares of the profit. They call that dividends. You get interest on checking, savings, the whole shebang. When they profit, when the credit union profit, so do you. There's no stockholder at the top sucking up all the cash. It is distributed within the company, and you're equal with employees. Credit union also tend to give regular bonus to their employees, and it's not a performance based bonus, which means you don't have to be ruthless. You can be nice, honest, even, and you still get paid. Now, they're showing us as sovereign that you, when you have a bank account, you're not really making any money. Your money is just somebody's just tapping into your trust and letting you give an autograph to authorize them to run your estate. And as you said before, our autograph, that is your money. Whenever you sign something, you're actually authorizing a company to get into your private estate. That's why we always say to our brothers and sisters, whenever you're signing, make sure you sign all rights reserved at the end of your initial, or it is UCC 180. You're signing under duress. So therefore, no one can,
1308.
yes, no one can say, repeat that for me again, my brother.
UCC 1308.
It's very important that we put those things under our initials. So when it reaches the treasury, that is when it makes sense. But therefore, those unscrupulous individuals cannot cash your estate. They cannot charge your estate. So it's very important for us to know that. But back on the credit union and the banking, you heard a while ago where the credit union is more a friendlier base than, and the credit union is a more sovereign approach, because the credit union does not give you high interest sometimes like the banks do, because the banks, they will up your thing. Credit unions generally care about the people because the people are technically part owners, and the NCUA protects credit union better than it protect the banks, and that's in our friend opinion. As part of the NCUA, your account are insured up to $250,000. Anybody ever been told that this is how tricky it is. The money in the bank that you put in there, you know that it's insured, right? So when a bank is going to tell you that they cannot refund your money, you know that's a lie. If you notice, if your bank account gets scammed, the bank can pay you back because every single one of those fiat dollars is insured. And they have a responsibility to reimburse you for any loss that you have, because they're actually working as third party to your estates. The only reason why they have authority is because you signed off on the document that give them authority. So it's very important, as we say, even with the initials and what you're signing for. If you notice, the bank don't give you money. The bank is a surety. In other words, they will surely go to the federal and access the Treasury Department with your serial number, aka your birth paper number or your social number or your tier and any one of the number that lines to your estate, and they will get your money. The house that you signed for is already paid for, but the bank work as a middleman to pressure you to pay for something that your estate is already paid for. As you heard, we said to you on several occasions, you don't have to work if you know how to discharge your debts. And as soon as we climax the 6 weeks, we will be getting more and more into it, where we can show you how to discharge your debt without going to a 9 to 5. Yeah, yes, Mr. Taylor.
Um, Question in regards to the topic. When making purchase of vehicles, right?
Yes.
Is it that you make the purchase before and then you approach them with the paperwork to do the sign off, or it's during the paperwork you do the sign off?
There's a few steps before you go to the car dealer, because you have to have some paperwork done where you're going to go to the accountant. You do not go to the sales representative. Because the sales representative still have to go to the accountant. You have to book a time with the accountant, and you have to bring in some paperwork to have them sign off on it, because you're not buying the car from the dealer, you're getting the car from the manufacturer. That car is already paid for a long time, unless you have a signed fee to get it. I have a piece that I'll play later on that it tells you about the stages, because there's a friend of mine who is working to get a Porsche, and he's going through the company. He should get it from about next week, hopefully. And then I can say if it work or not, which I know people out there are doing these things, but it's a process. We can't just go into the dealership and say, I'm sovereign, I want this. As you're all under understanding right now, your document is just an invitation. It has to have body. It has to have connection to show that you are really dispersing the funds from your estate. There is, I don't, is anybody here doubtful of their estate as far as the gold standard? I don't think so. We are all fully understanding why. A lot of people are saying, Rascalites, how can you tell people to go and ask for things without money? We have all crossed that bridge already as far as the collateral that your paper has. Your estate carries a certain amount of collaterals that it can pay for anything. All right, I'm going to. If there is there any question, feel free to ask question, and don't stay there and ask question. All right, this is the banking section that I was telling you about, with Charles explaining the banking, so we can get a more insight.
Revealed. Secrets of the banking industry revealed. Let's talk about it. All right, banking. So everything's about banking and energy. Like our bodies are batteries. We store energy. We use energy. It's all about currency and flow and how everything is stored and deposited and released. That is how the whole system works. The whole house of cards. Now we're purposely not taught about anything in banking in our public indoctrinated school system. When you go into a bank, you are the authorized representative for your US citizen. And basically, what happens is you put your signature on a promissory note, which they are authorized by Congress to monetize. And what we're not taught about is all kinds of tricks and traps where they deceive us. Your signature actually creates an asset on their books that pays for everything off of the rip. But you have to know about double entry bookkeeping. There's an asset for every liability. When they create that asset, they mirror it and create a liability, and they contractually call us or your US citizen a debtor. The creditor debtor system is such a fictitious system. It's like a servant and master. Everything is in trust, and then they basically trick us into thinking that it's a servant and master type of relationship, when in actuality our signatures created the funds that they put on their books. Now what you don't know is on every check, whoever signs the back is the liable party on that instrument. Now, when it comes to commercial documents and instruments, there is a public side and a private side. The front is always the public side, the back is the private side. If you look at a social security card, the front is the tax identification number, but on the back is the actual bond number that is the security. When it comes to the $1 bills, they are actually backed by the bonds on the back of the individual trust social security cards. And if you look on the dollar bill, there's two signatures. A creditor signs on the right, the debtor signs on the left. The creditor on the bill is actually the treasurer, who is in charge of enemy assets in the Treasury Department. Another secret is, since we are actually fractals of the creator and the flowing source of all energy, you actually have to hold the dollar bill like this, and the right hand side is over here, and the left hand side is over here. The $100 bill is backed by corporations, like big corporations, not individual trusts. That's how, and the secret and the private stuff is backed. But they have to have signatures on each of these instruments, or there is no value, and you're not taught that either. I'm always telling people that contracts are enforceable, and when you sign up and agree to be the debtor, even though your signature created the asset on the books, and if you look up in definitions, liabilities are actually banks' liabilities. The CFO is the liable party on that debt instrument because they are the ones that sign the back in order to deposit. You cannot deposit a check unless you sign the back. Now, there are three entities that can bind a corporation into contractual obligations: the CEO, the president, and the CFO. Because the CFO is the actual responsible and liable party on the instrument, you can call them out on it, but you have to know what you're doing. Since 1933, when the U.S. corporation went bankrupt, there is all kinds of different words for money, but they cannot specify or define what species they have to receive on any creditor debt obligation. Gold and silver is actually considered lawful currency of exchange. And all of this Federal Reserve and digits and all the fake financial system is called money of account. Even though we involve ourselves with money of account all the time in commercial affairs and we have no clue what we're doing, if you want to have more knowledge than 99% of all the sheep that are asleep around you, read the Affidavit of Walker F. Todd and Modern Money Mechanics. I have both of them free on my website. You can check them out. About 8 years ago, while doing my studies, I came across a very old banking book, and inside of it, it said that every bank is a U.S. citizen. Now, in my mind, that means that every U.S. citizen is also a bank. If anybody can find this book or that definition, Secrets of the Bank.
Wow. Did you catch that a while ago? Am I on the right track, brothers and sisters? Yeah. We're on the right track.
Yeah.
He's
We're on the right
fast.
track. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm saying he's moving fast with the information. I got the CEO, I got the CFO, and there was another one that I missed.
I will
And
I, I will play it back, and I'm going to put it inside of the school chat so you can these are things to reinforce us in what we're doing. So when they're trying to tell us that, Crystal, you don't know what you're talking about, yes, we have a reference. Hmm. And if you notice, I let all the information through because this is what we're facing now. We're facing a lot of brothers and sisters who are very, very much a part of it. Here we name out all of the crown agents. When they sign on to work, they sign on in this capacity that they're going to keep a secret. And that's how they get paid, because they're actually walking around knowing that they're frauding us, but they're getting paid for it. So they consider that their livelihood is much more important than ours. And you hear the last part where him said, every single one of us is a BANK. And at the front of it, what did he tell you? Because of your energy, that is why you're a BNK. I'll play it one more time so we can reminisce and then paste it inside the chat so you can click on it and watch it later.
Banking industry revealed. Let's talk about it. All right, banking. So everything's about banking and energy. Like our bodies are batteries. We store energy. We use energy. It's all about currency and flow and how everything is stored and deposited and released. That is how the whole system works, the whole house of cards. Now, we're purposely not taught about anything in banking in our public indoctrinated school system. When you go into a bank, you are the authorized representative for your U.S. citizen. And basically what happens is you put your signature on a promissory note, which they are authorized by Congress to monetize. And what we're not taught about is all kinds of tricks and traps where they deceive us. Your signature actually creates an asset on their books that pays for everything off of the rip. But you have to know about double entry bookkeeping. There's an asset for every liability. When they create that asset, they mirror it and create a liability, and they contractually call us or your U.S. citizen a debtor. The creditor debtor system is such a fictitious system. It's like a servant and master. Everything is in trust, and then they basically trick us into thinking that it's a servant and master type of relationship, when in actuality our signatures created the funds that they put on their books. Now, what you don't know is on every check, whoever signs the back is the liable party on that instrument. Now, when it comes to commercial documents and instruments, there is a public side and a private side. The front is always the public side, the back is the private side. If you look at a social security card, the front is the tax identification number, but on the back is the actual bond number that is the security. When it comes to the $1 bills, they are actually backed by the bonds on the back of the individual trust social security cards. And if you look on the dollar bill, there's two signatures. A creditor signs on the right, the debtor signs on the left. The creditor on the bill is actually the treasurer, who is in charge of enemy assets in the Treasury Department. Another secret is, since we are actually fractals of the creator and the flowing source of all energy, you actually have to hold the dollar bill like this, and the right hand side is over here and the left hand side is over here. The $100 bill is backed by corporations, like big corporations, not individual trusts. That's how, and the secret and the private stuff is backed. But they have to have signatures on each of these instruments, or there is no value, and you're not taught that either. I'm always telling people that contracts are enforceable, and when you sign up and agree to be the debtor, even though your signature created the asset on the books, and if you look up in definitions, liabilities are actually banks' liabilities. The CFO is the liable party on that debt instrument because they are the ones that sign the back in order to deposit. You cannot deposit a check unless you sign the back. Now, there are three entities that can bind a corporation into contractual obligations: the CEO, the president, and the CFO. Because the CFO is the actual responsible and liable party on the instrument, you can call them out on it, but you have to know what you're doing. Since 1933, when the U.S. corporation went bankrupt, there is all kinds of different words for money, but they cannot specify or define what species they have to receive on any creditor debt obligation. Gold and silver is actually considered lawful currency of exchange. And all of this Federal Reserve and digits and all the fake financial system is called money of account. Even though we involve ourselves with money of account all the time in commercial affairs and we have no clue what we're doing, if you want to have more knowledge than 99% of all the sheep that are asleep around you, read the Affidavit of Walker F. Todd and Modern Money Mechanics. I have both of them free on my website. You can check them out. About 8 years ago, while doing my studies, I came across a very old banking book, and inside of it, it said that every bank is a U.S. citizen. Now, in my mind, that means that every U.S. citizen is also a bank. If anybody can find this book or that definition, I would truly appreciate it.
Yep. There's so much information in that a while ago that, trust me, you need to smoke a pipe and really get some of those information out. We are so duped when it comes on to how our estate has been tied up. You hear them say many a time that there's millions of contracts out there with your name on it. There's millions of contracts out there with your name on it. Because each time, as anybody can recall how many autographs you've signed since you reached the tender age of 18? You've been signing away your estate left, right, and center. And nobody's telling you that, hey, this is a money making, because they brainwash us into thinking that a 9 to 5 is the only way to go. If you don't have a 9 to 5, you're not making any progress. And that is a trickery with the banking system. The banking system, it does not play fair, and it's a scam. And as he said to you a while ago, you can call out the banks, but you have to put in place mechanism that will not make you look foolish. Because remember, they tell us that you are dumb, you don't know anything at all. So the mere fact that they're telling you that you're dumb and you don't know anything at all is that they have to convince you, say you're dumb. And even in the so-called court system that you appear in, hold on, even 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 in the judicial system, the courts and so, their job is to make you think that they are more smarter than we are, which we know that's a lie because they're committing a fraud. So that is why they go out and don't even want to talk in the court. The judge, I'll hold you in contempt. But contempt of what? Defending your estate. As far as they're concerned, your estate is a dead entity that is run by not a living man. And that is why we say to our brother and sister that when you activate your live life claim, your LLC, these things are some of the things you have to put on file when you're presenting it to the corporation. Because if you present the birth paper from the corporation, that recognizable? That's not recognizable. That's a dead company you put down in front of them. But when you put your live life claim, you put your global IDs, these are things that is counteracting what the corporation have given to you. Because anything the corporation gives to you, they own it. They own it. And they own it because you have not stepped forth to claim it. Claiming it and owning it is two different things. Someone can say they own that house, but do they have the necessary documents to claim that house? And that is how our approach is as sovereign. It is never easy, but I do encourage that when we find out more, we put the pieces together so we can actually get the result that we need. I just put that inside that clip inside of the chat room for StreamYard. If you he has vast amount of knowledge when it comes on to some of the things that we are encountering right now. And I do speak with him, but you know, some of our brothers and sisters, because the trust barrier has not been established fully, people don't want to come out and stand with other brothers and sisters that share the said sentiments that they are putting forward. But he's going to be here, whether they like it or not, because I am knocking at his door so he can be a part of what we're doing. So he can teach us more about the financial secrets of our estate. Because as you hear, the bank is me and you. We without us, there is no banking. It is our energy that allows these corporations to function with currency. Each time you get up, that's a currency. But to make it more plainer, as I said before, because of the weight in gold, and this is what we have to put in our head. The day that you were born out of your mother's womb, you become a commodity. You become a product. And by you becoming a product, that product have a price. And the price of that product does not, it fluctuates. Yes, it goes down and it comes up, but it always have a value. What is that value? Gold standard. Every nation on planet Earth recognize gold. Every government on planet Earth recognize gold. Any one of us right here should go outside and dig in our backyard and find some gold and don't tell nobody where you get it from and carry it to any one of the institution, whether it be an Indian shop, any one of them. You think them going to tell you, Akeem, I don't want that, you know. I don't want that. No, The man pull you aside and say, how much you want? It is an instant profit. So see yourself as an instant profit. You have a number that's attached to an estate. And I think most of us are aware of the website where they put up with the calculation of how much you're worth. I'll ask Nana Chanel when she's coming on to facilitate some of those information. We have put it already out there, but we're still gonna refresh your mind with it when it comes on to how much you actually worth right now as you sit down in your living room. You can know how much that serial number amount to, how much $1 billion. And when you find that out, you can start to assess your estate. All right. So I don't want no one here get the impression that this is an illusion. It can't be an illusion when you were born and you were weighed. All of us have it on our birth paper how much you were weighed. And when you know that you weigh 8 pounds, and in 1981, you check the stock market, gold was how much in 1981 for September the 31st or whatever date you came in here. You can do the calculation. On that day, gold was $15 a pound. Me weigh 8 pounds. All right, that's 15 times 8. Starting from that day, if 15 times 8 amount up to X amount, that means that 365 days in 1 year, and you're going to calculate the years them, you're there here. Come on. And remember that gold don't stop trade. All when you need your bed asleep, it is trading. All until you wake up in the day, it is trading. So when you hear I say to High Chief Gary that it's the billionaire club, it's not a joke, it's real. But what we're doing now is unraveling some of the ways to get to spend to discharge that money. When Chanel come, there is certain things that form come next week that you will be asked to full out. Yeah, we have some form just like the forms that was for the first one to get certain things. We have to pull out some form. We are putting ammunition inside of our guns now, which is our documents. So when we present them, and they don't have to ask us for nothing because everything is going to be in that package, right? So that is some of the things that we bear in mind, and I'm just trying to concrete and reassure us that this is something legitimate. It is not something that is a fictitious fairy tale. It is a legitimate path that we're on to rule our estate and discharge our funds. Because they have the funds over there a long, long, long time. Oh, yeah, yeah. Who is this? I don't know. Okay, okay, okay. That's brother Michael. He is he is trying to get to me, but I'll call him back later. Yeah. All right. Any question? Nice. You're all learning. A while ago, you all asked about the postal system. The postal system is something that is compared to the banking system. So, as you know, as I said on many occasions, the banking system, the postal system is one of the first government that we have on planet Earth. All right. It is a government because it has no borders. You all know that the post office have no border. No matter which language you speak, there's a post office there. And the post office is a government in itself because it helps us transact business, not just a lot of us just take the post office for sending letter. No, 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 no. The postal system is more than just sending letter. Postal system can operate your estate for you because it's over all other government. This is our first government. the postal system. That's why you see when you have certain documents dealing with, you have to post it to yourself and seal it until the time that you need it, you reveal it. The postal system has been created through the common understanding of common law. That is where common law has its power. So I'm going to play Charles explaining the postal system to us, and see how best if you can relate to what he's saying.
Top secrets of the postal industry revealed. Let's talk about it. All right, the postal industry. Now, before the BRICS nations asset backed digital currency, the post office is actually the only entity that I know of publicly that is actually solvent. That's right, it's backed by gold, which makes it a very, very unique type of industry. And the postal industry has been around since 1775. The Continental Congress created it, and before they started the Revolutionary War. And the reason for that is uh, the postal industry operates outside of countries' jurisdictions, even though each country does make some guidelines and codes for them. And the reason for that is because if war ever breaks out, there must be continuity of communication amongst all the nations. So the postal service is actually kind of like its own unique, separate kind of entity that operates outside of governmental agencies. Benjamin Franklin was the first postmaster general. By definition, we all are postmaster generals because we sort, receive, and mail and deliver parcels and goods and postage. It's always important to look at the foundations of things. And back in the day, what they used to do in order to give documents value and make sure that fees were paid is they would put stamps on top of them. And a stamp is actually a form of currency, believe it or not. And what you can do as the postmaster general is you can actually put a postage stamp on a document and sign through it, and that cancels that stamp and gives that document value. If you really want to step up your game on giving a document value, you can do things like this. This right here encompasses all three of the major jurisdictions. You have the pre 1933 silver, which is the Republican form common law of government. Then you have the Federal Registered Warrant Claim Number, which is a silver certificate, which is equitable. And then you have the International Commercial Interest, which is a Red Fox stamp. The Red Fox stamp is a very unique stamp, if not the only one, that the dollar sign actually has the double bar on the S. Here's a couple secrets. So a PO box is a non-contracting venue, which basically means that if somebody tries to put you into a contractual obligation and they're using a PO box, it is not good for legal purposes for certain instruments. So you don't want to use a PO box to try to contract with. There's also something called the mailbox rule, which basically means that if you have a bill that is due on a certain date, let's say it's due on the 12th, and you put it inside of a mailbox before midnight on the 12th, it is considered received. So if you ever get fined or feed for lateness, if you put a check in the mail the day that it is due, it is considered received by the recipient, even though it was on that date, and they have to remove the fine or fee from that liability. Another trick is if you ever get spam mail and it has a return envelope, anything over like an ounce, they have to actually pay postage for. So what you can do is put all kinds of weights in it and send it back, and they have to pay a lot of money for how heavy that item is, and they'll stop sending you spam mail. Another trick is you can send mail anywhere in America for 3 cents. If you start operating in the Republic, and how you can do this is by putting general delivery, non-domestic, without the United States, and you put the check.
Ah, had to stop it there. You hear what him say a while ago? Did anyone hear what
Yeah, man.
which part of, I'm talking two parts, right? For those who are sending spam mail to us, you know that you wake up sometime and these people sending a bag of spam mail. They just get some big stone, put it now on letter, write it on it and send it that they have to pay for the weight. They have to pay for the weight. Once the postal service pick it up and take it from your address and carry it and deliver it to them, yeah, you have a return envelope. You know, they are going to get the message. So, and the next part is 3 cents anywhere in the continent. Want to believe that? A while ago when Karima asked me, hi Chief, how do I get some stamps? I have already ordered some stamps, especially the red fox, because as you said to you a while ago, that is like money in your hand. You sign certain things and it's like cash in your hand because the corporation is a company, people. The sooner we get it in our head that this, like when you talk to a police officer and you say, you can't have no mercy for me, officer. It's not in his capacity to have mercy because he is representing a dead entity, don't have a heart nor nothing. But if you can take everything that living man is writing on behalf of the dead entity and challenge it, that's how you beat them. Don't be scared. I say you must not be afraid of the living man who's acting because he's acting as a police officer. A police officer is not a real man. It's a police office. It's an office. What is a police? It's not a living man. So this is what Charles is telling us that all of us are postmaster general. All of us are postmaster general, but you have not notified nobody who you are. The post office is one of the, you know what I'm saying? It was created because even in the time of war, there has to be some civil communication. Anybody want to say something? Mr. Taylor, you want to say something? I don't know. Yeah, brother Taylor was trying to come in. But that is the essence of our estate. And this goes again to show the importance of you as a living man or woman taking care of. Hold on.
Industry. Now, before the BRICS nations asset-backed digital currency, the post office is actually the only entity that I know of publicly that is actually solvent. That's right. It's backed by gold, which makes it a very, very unique type of industry. And the postal industry has been around since 1775. The Continental Congress created it before they started the Revolutionary War. And the reason for that is the postal industry operates outside of countries' jurisdictions, even though each country does make some guidelines, codes for them. And the reason for that is because if war ever breaks out, there must be continuity of communication amongst all the nations. So the postal service is actually kind of like its own unique, separate kind of entity that operates outside of governmental agencies. Benjamin Franklin was the first postmaster general. By definition, we all are postmaster generals because we sort, receive, and mail and deliver parcels and goods and postage. It's always important to look at the foundations of things. And back in the day, what they used to do in order to give documents value and make sure that fees were paid is they would put stamps on top of them. And a stamp is actually a form of currency, believe it or not. And what you can do as the postmaster general is you can actually put a postage stamp on a document and sign through it, and that cancels that stamp and gives that document value. If you really want to step up your game on giving a document value, you can do things like this. This right here encompasses all three of the major jurisdictions. You have the pre 1933 silver, which is the Republican form common law of government. Then you have the federal registered warrant claim number, which is a silver certificate, which is equitable. And then you have the international commercial interest, which is a red fox stamp. The red fox stamp is a very unique stamp, if not the only one, that the dollar sign actually has the double bar on the S. Here's a couple secrets. So a PO box is a non-contracting venue, which basically means that if somebody tries to put you into a contractual obligation and they're using a PO box, it is not good for legal purposes for certain instruments. So you don't want to use a PO box to try to contract with. There's also something called the mailbox rule, which basically means that if you have a bill that is due on a certain date, let's say it's due on the 12th, and you put it inside of a mailbox before midnight on the 12th, it is considered received. So if you ever get fined or feed for lateness, if you put a check in the mail the day that it is due, it is considered received by the recipient, even though it was on that date, and they have to remove the fine or fee from that liability. Another trick is if you ever get spam mail and it has a return envelope, anything over like an ounce, they have to actually pay postage for. So what you can do is put all kinds of weights in it and send it back, and they have to pay a lot of money for how heavy that item is, and they'll stop sending you spam mail. Another trick is you can send mail anywhere in America for 3 cents. If you start operating in the Republic, and how you can do this is by putting general delivery, non-domestic, without the United States, and you put the chapter of the congressional record where they're bound by it, and it will get through. You basically be operating in the Republic. And when dealing in the Republic, if you're doing certified mail, that is the green card return receipt that you want to use. You don't ever want to do registered. Registered is federal, and that's more of a public benefit. Top secrets of the postal industry revealed.
Yep. That's a little gem right there. Nice little gems, and I hope we get to practice some of these method that we're learning. I personally, the 3 cent, that's a big saving for me because I've been sending documents to my brothers and sisters all over the United States, and I've been charged up to $25 dollars to send my packages. So my next package is going to have a lot of stamp on it, and I'm taking advantage of the 3 cent all over. Because I'm, and the next thing again, you hear very important what he said. He did not say the United States of America. He said the United Republic of America. We're living in two different era. The United States of America is a own company, owned by individuals. And every time that they register someone as a United States citizen, that's you're going, that does know that you're somebody's owning you. It's a republic. That's why when you're interacting with crown agents that are working for the United States of America, you have to remind them of their oath because they make an oath to the republic. I pledge allegiance to the United States and the Republic of America. So if you have an oath to the republic over the corporation, you have to respect the republic. But as I said before, most of these things are intimidation because when they go into the law, the court of common law, they cannot chastise you. But if your wording is not put in the right context, you will be looking like an imbecile. And an imbecile is what they've already described us as dead entity. That's why it's important whenever you are having any interaction with the corporation, you must treat the corporation as a superior because you're a living man over a dead entity. But when you bring yourself to the level where you don't have an affidavit, you don't have certain notification to drop on the judge. You remember the first tape I played where they say that the judge is just a gatekeeper to the estate. He's a gatekeeper to your estate. When you go inside the court judicial system, the prosecutor and the judge is coincided to raid your estate. A lot of people just go in the court and look on what they're trying to do to you, but they've already done things so you can give over authority to them. Any questions?
No, just a statement. When I got locked up, when them the owe my knife, a work knife. And once I got my IDs and I submitted the copies, right before going to my next court appointment, as soon as I walked to the door and called the lawyer wasn't even there. She said my case is dismissed. And they pretty much sealed that case that particular day. That day it was sealed.
The living man has claimed his estate. No dead entity. No dead entity because this estate belongs to you. As I've just reassured you, It's not a fiction that you were weighed and your weight in gold. So when they realize that you have taken control of your company, that's when they start to back up. But they've put in place mechanism that will default if you don't follow through. In other words, your case was dismissed, but if they had you sign anything at all, that is a backdoor to your estate. That's a window to your estate.
I already know
And
that. I never sign nothing. I'm an idiot.
okay,
More walk straight out. Just go collect my paperwork and walk out.
thank you. Whenever time a crown agents push anybody for a corporation, push anything to sign, you will not just sign, whether it be the school, whether it be the hospital, whether it be the police station, whether it be the courthouse. All of these are agents of the crown. And we are not being um, harsh about what they're doing. But to protect your estate, you must implement stringent measures that you're not violated. Your estate must not be violated at no time. And banking is one of the violations that comes across. I want to just do that subject tonight so we can go. And we're going to have more about it because now that I've informed you about the banking fraud, we have to put in place some things so it does not occur. Now, as you've heard a while ago, you yourself is the bank. You yourself is the postmaster general. A lot of us here don't have a house, don't have a car, and don't have certain things. So it's our intention to activate our estate. The first thing to activate our estate is we have to have a company because only a company can talk to a company. And that is why we encourage each one of our brothers and sisters to follow the path of getting your EIN. I can't stop emphasizing it. So you can set up trust because you don't just want to open a business. You want to have a legitimate business operating that you can have beneficiary for this company. And everything that we buy, it will go under that trust. And that trust, just like on the you remember when you were watching Charles a while ago, he showed you that on the $50 bill it marked in God we trust.
Yes.
Who is the God? Who is the God? You are
Brother,
the God. So how come you don't have a trust? How come you don't have a trust? Ask yourself that. I'm a God, and in God we trust, and we don't have a trust. I don't have a trust for my offspring, for if anything happened to me, and I transcend all of that wealth that Crystal have go over to our little youth. You notice when you reach, especially in the United States of America, the corporation, when you reach 18, a certain amount of money is allocated to you as profit from off of your 18-year trust. You know. For 18 years, all of that money accumulate, and then it's like you throw a partner, right? And you throw a partner from your bond. And when you reach 18 now, you're due for a draw. And you're a draw, right? That is how the profit come off of the goal. So for 18 years, the goal upon the market as a trade, a trade, a trade, a trade, a trade, a trade. In order to make you renew back, they're getting control over your estate at 18. Them tell us, say, yes, you have a right to start, sign it off back to them because before you were 18, it was your mom and dad. Nobody sign off. So that money is there. You can claim it, but we don't claim that money. The government come and say them and give you something, eh, Crystal? Yeah, I'm gonna give back some tax relief. Okay, I have never worked for the day my born, my son that are just 18. How come you give back tax relief? Where that come from? So, yo, we are on a mission and we have work to be done. All right. It's 11 minutes after the hour, and I think it's time I can quit now. But tomorrow we're going to be touching on some other things when you come tomorrow. tomorrow, hopefully, we can get onto corporations because we have some more things that we are working on. Hold on, let me go into my thing and see exactly. I wonder where Ambassador Michael want now. All right, and let me ask a question before I go. Is any one of my brother and sister putting some preparation into place for next month? I can't stop emphasize, get a bag and put your documents in. If push come to shove, you don't want to run up and down, you like cut off in the night or rare and you run up and down and ask what is with that. Get a bag together, a little knapsack, put two little tin things in it, put a lighter in it, you know what I mean? Push flashlight in it. Make it be something where you can survive with at least 3 to 5 days or a week. So before help, because remember, if the solar flare goes how they want, as though they're predicting, cell phones will not be working. Can't communicate. That means that you have to go forge for yourself. It's not every. And when people panic, a lot of things take place. Have a little machete or have a fire stick. If you know you're legal to get a fire stick, get a fire stick and prepare. Even if it don't come, is what our granny tell we say. Prevention is
Better than
better cure. So even if you know use up a candle and a lighter them and rare, put them in a one bag said we because we're never ever gonna be comfortable in a situation that is hostile to our estate. All right. So please, I want you all to bear in mind. I go as far as to get a Delco, a generator in my house. Cause we live a foreigner now, and we're up on top of things. Yeah, you buy certain things. You buy a big bag of rice, put down in your cupboard. You buy some flour, buy the necessary. Yeah, if you can stock up some things. I know that the deep freeze gonna work because the light would have cut off. Water go down and run through the pipe. Make sure you have some water put down in your garage. And not just purify water, because purify water is shit water. Get spring water. Cellulite. You have to get water that have light in it. Yes, spring water, people. And make sure you have the necessary going. If you're driving, make sure you buy 2 gallon of gas through down in one corner. Because you're going to have to go cross state. You're going to have to drive, come over Indiana, come check me, and me have to drive, come check you, because we are preparing. We're not preparing to lose, but we're preparing for the battle. All right, so that is my 2 cents for tonight. And I want to thank you so much for coming on board. All right, any more interaction before we go, Crystal? I'm not here. I don't know why I'm not here, yo. Why I'm not here, yeah? No, I'm not here. I see you, but I'm not here. Akeem, good. Danny,
Yeah, man, I
you
see.
all. Yes. Remember to put some things together. Lions, them, please, and put some things together and be prepared. We're not here. We're not here from a fear point of view, but as we just said, prevention is better than cure. And when we are prepared, we operate better. All right, the females them emotional, but the man them have to stay physical. Providers and protectors. That means that we protect what we have. Yeah, brother Taylor. Anything you want? Yeah, your mic had opened a while ago, brother Taylor.
No, I was gonna add to that. Being prepared. I've been saying that since 2019 that it happened. Time, because time is the master. But mentally, we are prepared, and we
Yep.
just have to, you know,
If
replenish.
there's yeah,
You know,
all right. If there's one thing I am happy for is that we're awake. Brother Jackson, I'm happy that we're awake and we're not just walking around like zombies. 10 years ago, we were just walking around saying, wow, life is beautiful. But now we know that there's something's wrong and they can't put us back in the bottle anymore. Brother Danny, you're over by the pond in the UK, and I hope the network, I hope you keep connection with the office over there so they can assist you, Brother Danny, because you know we're in this together, and no matter where we are on planet Earth, whether through um celestial powers or telepathical powers, we're going to be in connection. And I hope that this summer, I don't want to stray too hard, but I hope that this summer we definitely, I want to take you all out inside Mother Nature. And if we, because you see, my thing is if the eclipse go as how it's supposed to go for us, it's a restart because a lot of things are going to be reset in our favor. You know, we're not looking at even if it's 3 day or a month without cell phones. Can you imagine when we come back, what kind of world we're going to be in? Yes. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be a world where control going to be the order of the day. You know what's going to be the order of the day? Survival. And it says survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. So if you are practicing from now how to survive when the attack claps come, as what they say, you won't panic because you're going to be prepared for it. And I think that is why we have embarked on this journey. The preparation is very, 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 very important for us
This
to survive.
the Florida move for me.
You're cutting out, Brother Taylor. I don't know why.
I'm saying this the move to Florida, strategic move since 20 for me to be located in Florida. So
Yes,
that is just a move that was made before,
yes,
you know. Just getting
yes. Well, I applaud that move, Brother Taylor. You know, as I've said over and over again, we're upon planet Earth, you know, and on planet Earth, all of us come from. The great thing about it is you're close to the Atlantis, you know what I mean? And that is where most of the intellectual power really reside on planet Earth. No man, no woman can tell me no. Right now, everything for us to survive is good, but because of what's transpiring, you know, Atlantis maybe sink again because this is a whole different dilemma with the nuclears and all these things. These people are doing things behind our back and they're not being honest with us. So you will see things happen and them tell us, don't worry about it, man. Just normal, but it's not normal. It's their action. As what they say about the eclipse that is coming, and I say that it's too sun is like a black hole. But I don't want to indulge in certain things. I want people to see it for themselves. Because when we talk, people tend to think that you're crazy because they've never experienced anything like this. A black hole can swallow a whole universe. It can swallow it. It is made up of atoms. And it's going through, it's like you're seeing this phone and you see blackness in it and it go come until it take over the whole thing. I believe that is what's going to happen, but we have more things to do because we have not tapped into our celestial power yet. We have not tapped. They have default us on some of these powers that we have, and we need to tap into these things. Yes, yes, we have to tap into our celestial power. As I said before, the power to utilize your spirit come out of your body. You go to bed every night, but you just take it as a normal thing. Say, asleep, you're asleep. What is sleep? What actually is sleep? Sleep is a transition. You're transcending. You're actually out of your body, but you're not conscious. You're out of your body. Say that they are asleep in a limbo and you get all of vision and you're not even paying no mind. When it's your spirit, go somewhere and interact with other things that's coming out. But fear is what they use to control us. So when you get these things, it seems like they try to paint you like you're stupid and they don't understand what you're doing. But you have to be confident of yourself so you can know what your celestial power. There are certain books out there that we can read that encourage us about our celestial power. When people talk about celestial, it's out of this world. And they don't teach these things to our offspring. They don't see it right to teach. So they tell us you must only learn about A, B, C, and these things. But we have more work to be done. I don't want to elaborate much longer, but thank you so much for coming on tonight. Tonight, Thursday, I'll see you. Oh, Sister Lana, boy, I tell you, I don't know. Why Lana come a class so late, man? Grand Rising, Sister Lana. It's late in her neck of the woods. And it's 7 o'clock here, Sister Lana. We are 1 hour, I think, behind now. Sister Lana, you there? You could open your mic.
Rich rising, everybody. Rich rising.
Grand Rising.
Grand
Rising,
Rising.
Sister Laura.
How is everyone?
Giving thanks. Giving thanks for as I was saying, you've come when we're actually closing because it's from 7 until 8.
That's completely fine. And you know, I'm 5 hours ahead of you guys. I was just
Yes.
doing some work in the background, hence the reason I just remembered you guys are on. But all Paul is well.
Yes, man. We want you back in the classroom, of course, because some of your practical approaches is what we learned from. So I don't know. This week is our first week. Next week we're going to roll up our sleeves, so we start getting some of these paperwork that we have to deal with completed.
No
And
problem. No problem.
Danny is over there. Danny, Lorna, Sister Lorna is someone that you need to get acquainted with. Danny's in the UK too, Sister Lorna. And he needs to be a part of some of the fulfillment that you are embarking on. Danny, say hello to Lorna. Lorna, say hello to Danny, please.
Yeah,
Greetings,
Grand Rising.
Danny. Greetings, Danny.
Yeah, greetings,
I'm going,
Lana.
I am going to put him in the UK group with the rest of Lioness. Okay, Sister
Yes,
Lorna?
no problem. No problem. I'll try. If he adds me as friend, is he in the
Yes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Lorna is inside the group. Sisters and brothers.
No problem. I'll add him.
Yeah. And just to say this, that the jurisdiction that we are governing under may be different, but it's still important to know the different appellation that the jurisdiction carry. Okay, it's very important. So I would encourage all of that. Lana, hopefully tomorrow you can come to class if you get a chance.
Yeah, send me a reminder. You know, I'm busy in the background.
I
Send me
will.
a reminder.
I will. And Sister Janet is okay, I presume. Haven't heard
She's
from
good.
her.
She's still away in Africa. She'll be back next month, living it up, loving it up.
Is she still on the continent?
Yeah, she's still in Africa, my dear.
Oh, beautiful.
She'll be back next month. So yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much all for joining us tonight. We shall agree, and I'll see you tomorrow.
We
We
shall
shall
agree.
agree. We shall agree.